Man, so I guess supposedly Eddie Hearn wants to. They want to get in the middle of Anthony Joshua. They want to get into the middle of a Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3 fight, and try to set up a Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua fight. And ironically, he's also talking about how, if they do that fight, that DAZN was going to have to make that like a pay-per-view fight, which is kind of funny to me because DAZN's supposed to be all about pay-per-views dead. But that fight's not going to happen. I guess they're trying to see if they could give Deontay Wilder step aside money. He clearly said no, and he broke his rematch clause, and they're going to fight. And it's kind of ironic. Anthony Joshua just had lost, and everybody wanted to see a Wilder versus Ruiz for undisputed. At that particular time, that was the biggest fight that could have been made at that particular time. A Mexican fighter, black American fighter fighting together, especially if they could have did it like in May, Cinco de Mayo, something like that during the Mexican holidays. You're looking at over a million easy. You're looking at anywhere from 1 to 2 million pay-per-views. Easy. You're looking at a 20 million plus gate. Easy. It would have been a huge fight, and we would have had an undisputed champion. But, Anthony Joshua's like, nah, I want my get back. And I want it right away. And especially a lot of people are saying that he shouldn't take that fight right away. That she should get some other fights in between and work on some things before going into that fight. But he said, nah, I want that right away. It's kind of funny how, now Eddie Hearn and all these other people will be upset that Wilder be like, nah, I want my get back. And that's what's going to happen. There's no amount of money that they can really give this man. When it comes to those two fighting and it comes to the third fight, with the things that happened in the first fight, then you see how, I was waiting a little bit to see what the real pay-per-view numbers were. But it seems to be they're probably close to around 1.2 million. And I don't think anybody really knows what they are, regardless of what Bob Arum says or anybody else says, just due to the fact that you're talking about two completely different networks, and you don't get numbers back in a couple of days. It usually takes a good 2 weeks before you get, some real numbers in. So, it's definitely going to be over a million pay-per-views. Where it falls, I don't know, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, whatever it is. They did good numbers, especially at $80 a pop. And that's all anybody's talking about is about those two guys right now. And about that particular night. And the reality is, when they do this third fight, and the third fight is going to happen, this could be the highest generating heavyweight fight in the history of boxing. That's what we're basically looking at right now. They already had the highest gate when it came to Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Before inflation anyway. But I think this next fight, they could have the highest gate just period outright. They have the possibility of getting that, including inflation or whatever it is. And when it comes to the amount of money they're going to make off this fight, it's going to be astronomical. Because remember, Tyson Fury's from the UK. And we haven't even counted the pay-per-views that they got from the UK. People forget about that. We don't know what the pay-per-views are from the UK. And when they fight again, the UK pay-per-view for Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3 is going to hit over a million pay-per-views. It is, period. At the $25, whatever it is that they charge, they're going to hit over a million pay-per-views when it comes to that. When it comes to the United States, they're clearly going to go over a million. I'm thinking I would not be surprised if Wilder versus Tyson Fury does 2 million or higher pay-per-views in the United States when they fight again. There's just so much happened in the first fight, so much happened in the second fight. It's just going to be, the build-up is going to be even greater, than the last one. This is one of the situations where the champion loses his belt, and you get to see, is this going to be the end of an era, or the end of, Deontay Wilder for just the immediate future? Or does he get his redemption and get his belt back? Is he gonna be able to do that? And with all the things that he's saying and the reasons that he's saying that he had, for losing, the fact that it seems as if now they're gonna get rid of someone that's actually on the team, whatever the adjustment that he's gonna be making, and probably to his team in order to try to fix whatever little issues that he has. He got hit with a crazy shot. An equilibrium shot like that, that's just some freaky stuff. And it happens, you're just assed out. So we have to see, what I'm saying? We have to we have to see what, he does when it comes to whatever adjustments that he makes. Tyson Fury, I think, is pretty much gonna come out the same, but the big thing is gonna be what this next fight makes. This fight has a possibility, like I said, of being, I believe, is going to be the highest financially grossing heavyweight fight in the history of boxing. And because of that, there's absolutely zero chance of Deontay Wilder, of Deontay Wilder stepping aside. And I don't even see how they would be able to set up a Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight, even if he did step aside. Because in this big, huge fight, Tyson Fury is going to be getting 60% of the money. He's going to be getting 60% of the money. And what, is Anthony Joshua going to be okay with getting only 30% of the money that they generate from his fight with Tyson Fury? Because you're looking at just the UK, you're not going to get money off it like that. $25 a pop. It's just a UK fight. They're not, what are you going to do? Hold it in the United States? You hold it in the United States, Tyson Fury's fans are the ones that are basically, that he's been able to accumulate in the United States, are going to be the ones that will be buying that fight. So, I don't, it's a situation where they wouldn't, where Anthony Joshua's team or Eddie Hearn wouldn't really be in control anyway. But next couple of weeks we'll kind of see what happens and see what's decided. But man, you heard it first, man. Remember, you heard it first. When these two fight again for their third fight, probably in Vegas, it will be the highest generating heavyweight fight in the history of boxing. Biggest fight since Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.